Hey everybody, it's
Hi
the
guys.
Tara and Jenny show, and tonight we are talking about your bones. We're all about those bones. So the base, we're all about the bones.
That's right.
So, yeah, I'm sorry guys.
We're little giddy guys, so don't worry about us. We're okay.
We're slap happy at 9:53 at night, 8:53 at night, right? But we're coming to you live. We want to talk about bones and are your bones brittle? Are you having issues with osteoporosis? No, you don't have to be old, remember, to have brittle bones or issues with your bones. And so we want to address what to know about the bones and what to avoid. Jenny, do you want to get us started?
Sure. So for starters, there's, you know, everything starts when you're younger, right? I mean, and if you don't get the right nutrients in your body later on, it's going to come back to haunt you.
Mm-hmm.
And you need your bones to be good and strong. The density of them, your blood that goes inside your marrow, and everything. It all, plays, combines together, right? So, and for us, the ladies that, carry their children, they leach calcium from your bones. And then later on in life, some women do pay for that if they don't supplement the right way. Okay. Some of them, I guess I'm not going to, there's a whole laundry list of different bone diseases, but I'm not going to go over all that. I'm just going to kind of hit some hot points that you may be familiar with. Now, there's like number one, osteoporosis. I'm sure everybody has heard that. Like every time I see an elderly lady, I'm like, stand up straight, because they're kind of hunched over and everything. And that also plays a role in like what they've done as a career their whole life. I mean, a lot of people who work,
Right.
out as a farmer or out in the field, or they're a dishwasher or a janitor, housekeeper, they're in that position quite a bit. You just got to kind of remind yourself, okay, I need to stand up straight. Remember your mama told you to
Mm-hmm.
sit up
Yeah.
straight and stand straight?
Yeah.
There is a reason for that.
No slouching. Yeah.
Yes, no slouching. That's right.
Yep.
But there's other ones too, like osteomyelitis, which is a bone infection inflammation. And the difference, a lot of people have asked me, how can you tell you have bone pain versus muscle pain?
Ooh, that's a good
So,
question.
yeah, so muscle pain is more along, I guess the best way to describe it is more of an outside pain. You can kind of, if you really focus on it, you can tell, touch it, feel it on your muscle. That is actually a muscle pain. The bone pain is more deep. It's like, you hear people say, well, I broke my foot, like me, or, or, I have arthritis or something, and I can tell when the weather changes. That is bone pain. That is,
Mhm.
your body's trying to tell you, okay, get ready, here it comes, right?
Mhm.
So there's those. Then there's also Paget's disease and above all, bone cancer. And then, believe it or not, thankfully, this has kind of gone away, but there are still some cases of rickets, you know, and that's Paget's disease and rickets it's just really bad, brittle bones that they just, crumble, for lack of better words. Um, and there's a couple, and a lot of people have asked me also. I actually have this one a friend of mine that was asking me the other day, and that's why I thought about this topic. How can you promote healthy bones, right? She goes,
Mm.
how do you do that? I mean, she goes,
Yeah.
I know you eat good and this and that, but there are a lot of different things that you can do. But of course, ready, people are, some of you guys are not going to like this, but you're going to need to eat your veggies, believe it or not.
Yeah, I love
The
vegetables.
Yes, yes. And if
Mhm.
you can't stand vegetables, find you a good solid greens supplement that you can just throw it. What is it saying? Past the
Plant that
teeth
in a
and through the
smoothie.
gums, without stomach, here it comes. Throw them capsules down there and swallow them. Okay.
or do a smoothie if you are like
Or
not
do a
big. Some people
smoothie.
aren't. Gotta remember, some people aren't big on those capsules, though, Jenny.
That's true. That's true.
You
That's another
need
way.
something alternatively. Hey, if you slam like avocados or spinach inside of your blender,
Hmm.
it will really help mask the taste if you put a lot of fruit in it. There's
Hmm.
some really good juice and smoothie recipes.
There's one I do, and it's a quick one kind of thing. I'd use a small green apple,
Mhm.
some spinach, um, a little bit of nut milk, whatever your choice, and then I put in the protein powder, peanut butter flavored, and it gives it like a coconut taste. It's kind of cool. It's really neat. And then I put more. I put spinach and kale in there, and it kind of masks that green taste. That
Yeah, like plant taste.
yes, yes. So, and the kids, I've made it for them before too, and they just love
Mhm.
it. So, also strength training, guys.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to. You don't have to get like 250 pounds. Okay, just get some light dumbbells or little hand weights, and strength train because your muscles and your bones need that in order to be strong. I mean, they have to have some kind of workout too. I mean, just think of it this way. If you leave a plastic bowl out in the environment in the sun over time, you can just walk up to it and just crack. It just falls apart without even barely trying. I mean, you can even stomp on it, and it'll just pieces everywhere. So, I mean, food for thought on that too. Now, I'm not asking you to go be a bodybuilder or or anything like that, but just get you some good free hand weights and just and you're like, oh, like me, my foot's still healing. Find out other ways to do. I mean, you can work just sitting down and stuff like that. Use your own body weight too. Don't be afraid. You can always Google or whatever it is, DuckDuckGo, for different workouts, and they can be like 10 or 15 minutes, just as long as you get that in somehow. And then of course, eat plenty of protein. Your bones really need it. And then of course, what's the two vitamins that bones really need is vitamin D and K.
Hey,
Yes.
hey. I'm just kidding.
That's
Hey, okay, hey, right?
yeah.
Right,
But
of course. Right. Anyway, but yeah, vitamin K. And if you're not getting your vitamin K, that is actually really hard to do. But you guys, a really good way to get your vitamin K in. How many of you make whole chickens? And if you haven't, consider making a whole chicken. You do it in your crock pot in the oven, and then you take the bones left over and make yourself a bone broth.
there you go. That's
Great
what I'm
way to get
talking
vitamin
about.
K in. Mm.
Hmm.
Way better than store bought too. Anyway,
Amen. Yes. I freeze mine too. I put it in like the little plastic
you sure
tall
do
bowls.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Me too.
or I'll find a Ziploc bag if I don't have a plastic bowl. I'll stick it in there and put it in the freezer and hey. So I mean, tastes great just like you did it right in there on the same day. And
Exactly.
it's a quick it hydrates you as well as it excuse me, curbs your appetite.
Yep.
So I mean, something to consider. Um, Also, the best supplements for your bones, ready? You know this. Calcium, vitamin D, and you have to have what? Magnesium. Because if you don't have magnesium, your body's not going to absorb that calcium. You're going to eliminate it through your urine.
Yep.
And then you're not going to hold on to it. So it's
Yep.
like defeating the purpose. You can also sit out in the sun and get some vitamin D too, but your body it produces a certain amount, but it is not capable of producing exactly the amount international units you need in a day.
Mhm.
So you got to give it some help, unfortunately, but
Yep.
it can
And
be done.
next time you are, by the way, craving that chocolate bar before we trudge forward. Hey, you guys realize when you're craving chocolate, what you're craving? Calcium.
Yes.
Body's
Mm-hmm.
going to need calcium, okay? So stay
Yes.
away from the chocolate. If you're going to use an unsweetened cacao, make
Oh
yourself a
yeah.
cake something and get your calcium in that way, okay? You can even slam some spinach. I promise you won't taste it.
Hmm. That's right. It's interesting, and the best time to get your sun too, before I switch topics here, is middle of the day. That's when, and you only need to stay out there for like 15, 20 minutes. Like me, I'm pasty, I'd fry. But, but we need that extra, that extra sunlight. I mean, God gave us that for a reason, right?
Mm.
And it stimulates that enzyme in our body that triggers to produce vitamin D. So, and the magnesium also regulates levels of your vitamin D, where it manages the minerals of calcium and phosphorus too. So we need that as well. It's amazing how many vitamins and minerals, I mean, our body really needs that people are just not getting. And then they wonder why they're fatigued or why they can't think straight or whatever it may be, why their bones hurt, why they feel so inflamed, right?
Mhm.
And then you're sitting there going, I mean, I have people tell me all the time, oh, I'm not feeling myself today, blah blah blah, I just feel so sluggish and lethargic. And I'm like, well, what did you eat the last 2 days? Well, I was on the run, so I had McDonald's and then I had Taco Cabana and then, whatever. And I'm like, you just answered yourself, you know? I
Right.
mean, I know convenience is awesome, but they do have some better selections at certain places. I mean, you don't have to get that big three double-decker hamburger, or
Right.
you know, what do you call those little French fry holders full of grease or
Yeah.
whatever? I mean, yeah, you are what you eat, right? Unfortunately. Um, but
Yep.
it's easy to get there. It's hard to get away. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah, it really is. But you know what? You guys can make some healthy, yummy choices so you make it easier, okay?
Oh, yes.
So, just a couple of options that I'm thinking about. I love to go to, like, if I have to be a drive-through Sue, no offense to anybody named Sue.
Or Karen. It's
There.
Karen now. Don't be a Karen.
If I have to go there, though, I like to go to Panera Bread and not get anything bread related, okay? But they have lots of, I look for the soups that have less calories.
Mhm.
And then maybe I do like a cup of soup, like you pick half and half
Mhm.
and do like a salad that's less in calories as well. And then so I have like a guilt-free treat, okay?
Absolutely.
You can also pick, not that I'm a fan of Chipotle because of some of the things going on behind the scenes, but they do have healthier food options. You can go to a place, in other words, that has, without getting going down that path, okay? But you could pick like options where instead of like the taco, you pick the salad with the meat and the vegetables, or
Mhm.
maybe you pick like the salad with the veggies and just do a little salad that way. Or, Jimmy John's has a great option where you can, instead of having the bread, you guys
Mhm.
can do an unwich, which is lettuce
Yes.
wrapped. And, if you're really in a hurry, just a little meal planning the night before will really help you too. So if you don't want the bread and you're really trying to be carb conscious, you can even cut up a cucumber and put a little bit of toppings, maybe a little bit of meat or a little bit of vegetables of your choice, and still have something delicious. Or you can do the same thing. You can create yourself a wrap with like a little bit of chicken salad or egg salad and make it yourself and have something to go that way. Just make sure you slice up some raw fruits and vegetables, and you got yourself a meal on the go that's really simple to eat.
Yes. And you know what else I've tried before? I don't know if you have. I like to buy the big fat pickles sometimes,
Yeah.
and I'll make that like my bread. I'll slice it
Yeah, pickles
lengthwise,
are good too.
longwise. Yeah, and put your little, yeah, whatever you want. And it's like kind of tasty because, you know, I like pickles, right? So I'm a pickle person.
I feel
Of
like you
course,
either really love them or you don't. So
yeah,
just
yeah,
somewhere
there's
second.
a fine line, but yeah. Yeah. So I mean there's different alternatives too, you know, in there as well. But also I don't know if you read in the feed on the notice, I also put on there the culprit that kind of also is bad for you, which is salt. What it does is it kind of leaches the calcium out of your body. So if you have too much and if you're a big savory salt eater, you know, that's something to kind of keep on the back burner as well. I mean, it's okay to have salt, don't get me wrong. You need it. We need it. But it's just another, you know, something to kind of remember.
Okay, I'm
That,
playing devil's advocate for a minute. So just so we can really get this in our
Mhm.
viewers' hearts and minds, next time they're in front of the salt. So if you're using salt, here's the question of the day: how much salt should we consume that is on the safe side, and how much isn't? And what would be a healthy salt alternative for all of our salt lovers?
Healthy salt alternative. Well, you obviously, I'm trying to think. I can't think of the name of it right now. Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm
There's
thinking of
there's
a
a
couple.
bunch of herbs and like dried herbs. You know,
Yeah.
use a bunch of like what is that little?
What about
You know what?
Bragg's?
Oh yes, yes,
Bragg's might be one, but that's like if you have more savory options. Like,
yeah.
what if you just have your cucumber sandwich, your pickle sandwich, your lettuce
Mm-hmm.
wrap?
Right.
Besides herbs, is there any alternatives that you can think of, Jenny, that maybe our viewers should try and get a hold of?
You know, vinegar, like balsamic vinegar,
Ooh, that's a
is a
good.
very yeah is a very good. You get that soury, tangy taste, but it also is a little bit salty. It's not like, oh, you know, like you lick
Yeah,
salt lick, but
yeah.
I mean, you do get that. You never know what you're gonna get with me. Sorry,
Oh, that's
but
funny.
but yeah, you know, so I mean, balsamic vinegar is very bold, and it's, you know, I'm serious. It will give you a good that salty taste, and it will actually crave your you know, satisfy your craving. So that's another good one. So I know that I'm trying to think
And
here.
what if you use Himalayan salt versus like sea salt? Like, is
Sea
that going to make
salt,
a difference for you?
yes. So Himalayan salt, the pink Himalayan salt, you can use a little bit more of it. It's a little bit more healthy. The sea salt is processed more, so you're gonna get more of the chemical taste, saltier taste, right? Because they process it totally different from, and your table salt too. They process it totally different than they do the Himalayan. And the best thing to do, actually, do I have some on the table? I'm sitting here at the table. Nope, it's empty. My husband didn't fill it. But anyway,
Shame on
it's
you.
you can get a little grinder
Uh huh.
and just, you know, put, and you don't
Yep.
even need that much actually, because once you start using it, it's gonna taste a little different when you first
Yeah, it does.
introduce it into your diet. But once you get, and you're like, oh, I need to cut back on that one, right? Because you're gonna get used to it, and you're gonna go, oh, don't eat it that much anymore. Thank you. Go bye. So, but yeah, it's interesting that there's a lot more options out there that, you know, you can play around with, and a lot more healthier for you. So don't be afraid to play around, you know, with that. You know, you have to, you know, you it's you want to be healthy, but you also want to enjoy being healthy, right? So you just got to pick your happy mediums and pick and choose your battles,
Hmm.
right? What do you usually typically do?
It depends on the dish. So if I'm making something more Asian or savory, a lot of times I'll throw Bragg's liquid aminos in because it'll actually help promote healthy digestion and break down
Mm-hmm.
fats, fat soluble.
Yes.
Um, I do a lot of herbs as well. And I do use sea salt a little bit, but I really like the pink Himalayan salt. So,
And I have a helper today, so he went and got the.
Aw, you have a little helper with the video. Your son will pull up. Nice. We have
So
a
yes,
mom.
I know, right?
Right.
But uh yeah, so I mean, don't be afraid. And sometimes, believe it or not, I don't know about you, but like when I go to just an average grocery store, they don't really have this kind of like eye level,
Yeah.
it's usually like
Yeah. It's like
either
at the
too
bottom.
high or at the bottom. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if I know a lot of people, shop, if you don't see it right in front of you, you're not going to look too far. You know what I'm trying to say? So don't be
You
afraid.
can
It might
also
be,
order it online from a health food
yes,
store that you trust.
yes,
A lot of
absolutely.
health food stores carry it.
Yes, yes. So, but yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different things that, like I said, you can play around with and substitute with. I know people are like, I love my salt. I love my popcorn with salt on it, whatever else. And I get that. Trust me, I am not I know I'm not a sweet girl. I try to do savory. That's my downfall. So I'd rather have, like we talked about a few weeks ago, rather have a nice big entree and do without the dessert,
Yeah.
right? So I'm a savory gal. So it took me a while to kind of get used to, a different substitute and stuff like that. But it can be done. If I can do it, you can do it. So
Gotcha. Is there anything else you think that we should add about our bones and osteoporosis?
just, please take care of yourself. It is, I used to work at a rehab hospital years ago. And a lot of the falls, you break your
Mm-hmm.
bone first, your hip pops out first, then you fall and you break your bones. But with osteoporosis and all these other severe, your bones get so weak, please, 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 just don't be afraid to supplement and look what is in your supplement first, too, okay? Because
The
it could be
ingredients.
doing you more harm than anything.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
So, yes, because our goal here, and I know Tara will agree with me, is we're just trying to share information to get you thinking outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to ask the questions. Don't be afraid to look or do the research or anything like that. Just don't take our word for it. Please go look things up for yourself because you know it's quite scary when you're afraid to be your own advocate because you're like, oh well, so and so said that that's good. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Or, they did the work for me. Please, please, please. We're here for answer any questions we are, and we will share our knowledge with you. But, you do what is best for you. You make the ultimate choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
but
100%
have
agree
anything
with
else to
you.
add?
I don't think so. I think we really covered it with our nutritional choices and taking care of our body. Remember that falls can be completely prevented by just nurturing our body a little bit more and just making some trades. And I think if you start being proactive when you're younger, you have some years on you, I think you'll be in a lot better position. You may not be able to prevent everything, but you will have been proactive about taking care of your temple because all it takes is one broken bone and then it leads to a string of other issues. So being proactive is going to be really the way to go. And as always, if you have any questions at all, please be sure to put them in the comments section. I know I asked some questions myself. I knew some of the answers, but I like you guys to know what this information and knowledge is. I know Jenny does too. So we are here for you. We're a knowledge base. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask those questions in the comments, like I said. And if you found this video of some sort of value, please make sure you share and get the word out. We go live every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And wow, I said that without actually jumbling it this
You
time.
did.
Yes. Anyway, it was a real pleasure connecting with you all. Stay tuned. We'll be going live next week. The topics to be announced, so make sure you stay tuned. Until next time, have a great evening. Bye for now.
Bye. Thanks for jumping on.